Welcome to Hope with Jonathan. I'm Jonathan Traylor, kidney transplant recipient. Based on my near-death experience with kidney failure, we now spotlight kidney patients' story, giving them a platform to express their personal journey with battling kidney disease, kidney failure, dialysis, waiting for kidney transplant, and much more. We share stories of hope right here on the Hope with Jonathan podcast. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Never let hope become a memory. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hope with Jonathan podcast, and I'm your host, Jonathan Traylor. Hey guys, listen, on this week's episode of Hope with Jonathan podcast, we feature a kidney warrior who is an incredible advocate for holistic and wellness living. And he is an incredible advocate and an incredible individual, and it was a real honor to have him on our podcast at Hope with Jonathan. Marcelo Peña. Marcelo Peña is an incredible individual who has faced a lot of obstacles with kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, and much more. He has a fantastic story. He also has a really, really awesome, optimistic attitude. He's a huge advocate for home dialysis, which he does every day, I believe, or at least a few times a week. And I know that he's using a next stage machine. And I see Marcelo all over social media promoting his way of life and the way of living and things that he's practicing that is working for him. And it was a really true honor to have Marcelo on the show. Just an incredible individual, incredible advocate. You're not going to want to miss this. You're going to want to listen to this whole podcast. Marcelo just goes really deep into his story. And like I said, guys, I think you guys are going to get a lot from this podcast. Very informative. And just Marcelo is just an awesome individual. His attitude and his spirit and the way that he presents himself, he really draws you in. And he's just an incredible guy. I really like Marcelo Peña. And so, listen, guys, on this week's episode, you're going to enjoy this live streaming podcast. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys have had a chance to check us out at hopewithjonathan.com. Also, I hope you guys have had a chance to check us out over on the YouTube channel. You can actually go over and check out this incredible live interview on our YouTube channel. And you can actually watch it, and you can watch exactly what I'm talking about. But you'll be able to hear it with Marcelo's voice and the way that he explains his story. Hope you guys are ready for this one. Again, we appreciate all your support. Hope you guys are staying safe out there, loving on everyone. And most of all, guys, take care of your kidneys. God bless. This is Jonathan.
I love everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for the intro. And yeah, definitely, I want to say real quick, rest in peace to TJ, man. That's hard to hear that news for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, anytime we lose a warrior, no matter who it is, it's definitely a tough loss to the community. But I know each and every, the spirit of each warrior would want us to continue to create awareness for this dreaded disease of kidney disease. Yeah. And just continue to spread awareness for organ donation and all of that stuff, and
we just got to continue to be strong and be good leaders and can carry on,
100%, 100%.
So Marcelo, introduce yourself, man, and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how old you are, and all that great stuff.
Absolutely. So for everyone out there, my name is Marcelo Peña, aka CeloAffect Health. I am 34 years old and I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. And to give you a quick backstory of my life and how I am connected to kidney disease, I've been battling end-stage renal disease for more than 24 years. I'm going on 25 years now. And I'm going on 22 years of dialysis, of hemo, PD. I've done everything, nocturnal, in-center, in-hospital, you name it, I pretty much have done it. I actually celebrated my 22-year anniversary December 2nd, man. It's crazy when I sit back and I really think about that. But there's so much that has happened. I'm not going to go too far into it because then I'll start going on rants. We'll go ahead and take it very slow, dude, because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. Now, why don't you just cover, a little bit about your disease and how it developed and what form of kidney disease that you have?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I wasn't born with kidney disease. I started to get a little bit sick and just feel under the weather because I got strep throat when I was around 9 years old. And then I just didn't get better. My mother tried everything that she could to just rejuvenate my body to heal me, but it wasn't working. So long story short, I went through the testing, they found blood in my urine and something was off, right? They did a biopsy and I was actually diagnosed with FSGS, focal segmental glomerular sclerosis, which basically means a scarring of the kidneys, when I was 10 years old. I got diagnosed on my birthday, for real, Jonathan, on my birthday.
Wow.
So that was the beginning. They told us that it's a very aggressive form of FSGS, and we needed to do something before we get down the road of dialysis. So there was no cures, there was nothing really. They threw medications at me, prednisone, and they tried a few different things, but it didn't really help. So by the time I was 13, that was about 3 years that they tried very hard, with Western medicine. 13 was just I was at the end of my rope. They were like, yo, you have 3% kidney function. We need to get you either on dialysis. But at that time, dude, I was 13 years old. I was terrified of dialysis. I would see people come into the office with tubes in their neck or bumps on their arm. And I was like, bro, that scared me, dude. Like, that scared me. So
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it scares grown folks.
Right. And you know what? You being 13, man, I'm sure if you started in center, you were probably like one of the youngest person in that facility, right?
I was always the baby, dude. Till this day, now there are some other babies that, they taking my spot. But
yeah,
for the most part, dude, I was the baby. And but it was a cool thing because how you build relationships with people in these centers. I was always like the grandson or the little nephew, and everybody loved me. Everybody loved me. So
yeah,
I
can see why. I can see why.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, we listened to doctors. We listened to everything that the experts said, and they were basically saying, you don't want to do the dialysis. Let's do the kidney, transplant route. Right. And as soon as they said that, my mother, God bless my mother, she was the first one to jump up and say, yo, take my kidney, and I always say, my mama gave me life twice. She gave me life twice. She really did. And, we went through the process. I went to Duke University here in North Carolina, very prestigious hospital, amazing people out there.
Sure.
But the unfortunate thing, dude, that the form of FSGS that I had was so aggressive, and they didn't tell us this. They always just told us that you need to take your medication because rejection is very real. You don't want this to happen. Medicine.
Right.
But they never told us that a reoccurrence could happen.
Okay.
That never affected my original kidneys, the FSGS, could go into my mother's kidney, the new kidney, the transplanted kidney, and it can destroy it. They never said that. So we didn't know that. And, you know, I was in recovery for about 5-6 months after the transplant. And it was a little rough in the beginning. I was still such a baby. But after about 5-6 months, you know, we get our labs back, and now they're telling us, I'm sorry to say this, Marcelo, but your kidney function is falling very fast. You know, it was sad.
So the FSGS ended up returning.
Yeah, in my mother's kidney, and it destroyed it. You know, within a matter of months, there was no chance. And then now again, I'm at the cross of the road. You know, either dialysis or another kidney transplant. But at this point in time, I'm just like, I just had a kidney transplant. I'm not about to go through that again. That was too much. And this happened. No, I'm not doing that. So the next option was PD. So they started me with peritoneal dialysis, and I would say I was about like 14, 15-ish, around that.
Okay. That had to be tough, man, because, you know, teenage years can be tough all by themselves, right? Minus dialysis. But then when you add the scenario of having to going through kidney failure by way of FSGS, and then, you know, doing dialysis as a teenager, man, that had to be tough.
It was very tough.
Yeah.
Very tough.
Was it apparent with like a fistula and things like that you had or were you always on PD?
No, I did PD for 3 years, and like you said, it was really rough, man, because mind you, I was at the age where most kids are going to go to middle school and have girlfriends, or going through puberty. There's a lot of changes going on in the body.
Right.
I was put on so many amino-suppressant drugs, prednisone, like all this stuff that it really like stunted my growth. And I was a very healthy, athletic kid, but when this happened, in a matter of 2 weeks, I became bloated. You know, I gained so much weight. I didn't even recognize myself in the face, like in the mirror when I looked at myself, you know? Yeah. Then, you know, going to school, kids could be so mean, man. They could be so mean. And I always ran away from this. I didn't want people to know that I had a disease, because growing up, it was almost like having something that's contagious. You don't want nobody to know. So I always kind of like hid it, right? But at this point in time, I was like, people could obviously tell something happened. What was going on? And not just that, I had a tube coming out of my abdomen. You know, I had a tube coming out of my abdomen. And just to show you real quick how hard it was, this is how difficult what dialysis was, PD at that time. Mm-hmm. For 3 years, I wasn't able to take a bath or shower. So I would have to give up on my knees and wash myself like that, or with a sponge, for 3 years. Right. And I would have to do dialysis for 12 hours at a time.
Oh, wow. Consistently. That's incredibly long.
It's very, very long.
Yeah. You know? So that's half your day.
That was my whole life, bro.
Right.
Mind you, I'm in school, right? So I would literally get disconnected from my machine, go to school. I would wrap my back brace around me, because I didn't like to have the thing just hanging. I would tape it up and put a back brace. Yeah. Then I went to school, just dealt with all that craziness there as much as I could. As soon as I would come home, I would have to rush back home, because I would have to get the machine primed to get back connected, and then do it all over again. There was no life. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, man, that had to be tough. Definitely as a teenager. Were you involved in any sports or any extracurricular activities before all this?
Of course. I used to be on baseball teams, basketball teams. You know, when this happened, all that stopped. It changed my life 100%.
Yeah. So after your transplant failed, what you said you were around 14 when that happened?
Yeah.
And then, so you continued with dialysis, and you've been on dialysis how many years now?
I'm going a total of 22 now.
22. That's amazing, man. Yeah. So and so you've been on peritoneal, but then you at some point in time you switched to hemodialysis, and then now you're on home hemodialysis. Am I correct?
Sure. Yes, sir.
All right. And so, and you're using like the next stage machine and all that stuff.
Yes, the next stage machine, yes, is a godsend. It really is.
Yeah. At what stage did you switch from in-center dialysis to home hemo?
So I did PD, peritoneal dialysis, for 3 years, and I had to stop doing that because there was just so many complications with peritonitis. I caught it 7 times. That's another story, you know, and it almost, honestly, it almost killed me. It got to the point where it got so bad that my perineum wall, like the peritoneum wall, was so scarred. It was like having a balloon, if you fill it with water, but it had a whole bunch of puncture wounds. You know, there was the doctors were telling me that it wasn't usable anymore. But that's not what they said in the beginning. It was a little strange how it happened, because I remember like it was yesterday. They told me, because I was doing dialysis at home, I didn't want to go to in-center, and I remember my nephrologist at that time, he was like, Marcelo, because we have to let your peritoneum wall heal a little bit first, okay? Just let it heal. We're gonna put you in-center. It's another type of dialysis, you know, it's gonna be okay.
Right.
But you'll come back home, you know, you'll come back home. And I was like, at first I was very hesitant. I was like, I don't know, I don't want to do this. You know, he's like, trust me, okay. So I did it, you know, and the first day I did in-center dialysis, I was probably about 16, close to being 17 years old. And I remember like it was a movie. My mother would always be there with me. But at that time, I'm at my first clinic. I walk through that door, boom, you get hit with all these alarms and the smell of alcohol and plastic, and moving around, it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, the smell is everlasting in your mind. Still to this day, that's kind of a memory that's just embedded, is in-center dialysis. That odor, that odor is so significant. If I smelt it right now, I could tell you that's a dialysis center smell.
Yeah. So I walked to my chair, and they're like, your mom's not allowed in here. I look back like, what do you mean? She can't sit with me? They're like, no, not this time. I turned around, they closed the door. I'm just like, what is going on? Is this gonna hurt? Is this gonna hurt? I'm scared it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
At that time I had a catheter, like
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the permacath. Yeah, those are fun. They the bulge that stuck out in the t-shirt or whatever you were wearing, and no matter what, you could not hide it.
That thing used to itch so bad, bro. I used to itch it so bad I could not stand it.
Yeah. It was definitely fun, but you know what? I remember the day I got mine out, and I had my fistula had finally matured. Man, I was so excited. I could finally shower in a proper manner and all that stuff. And they were, because they were teasing me. They were like, because they knew I kind of had to sponge bath and stuff, because they had to be careful for infection and all that stuff. So I was always real careful. But man, I was so excited to be able to just do some normal things. You don't know what you miss until it's gone, right? And
for sure.
You don't appreciate some things in life until they're stripped from you.
It's true. That's very true. I still remember that first warm shower. It was like, oh, it feels so good. Yeah, I know, for sure.
It sure was. It was exciting. And so then you graduated with eventually, your fistula matured and they started using the fistula. But then at some point, you decided, I'm going to do this at home.
Yeah. It took a long time for me to get to that point. So much happened within all that time span.
Sure.
But so I decided, I just, in-center was taking so much out of me. I was not myself.
Yeah.
I was on so many different medications, and I just felt like it got to a point where just inside this knowing that we all have, like this deep knowing, right? It was telling me, you need to do something. You need to get out of here. And then I was like, because every time I would do dialysis, I would feel pain. I would feel hurt. I feel like it was killing me. And I would relay this message to my doctors, and they would always just kind of brush it off. And I'm like, y'all not listening to me. And So then I came across being able to do it at home. And, the experience that I had with doing PD, I was just like, I don't want all those boxes. I don't want to have to deal with that. That was my hesitation in the beginning, right? I don't want to, I'd rather just come here, give all the work to the nurses, and then I just go back home and go to sleep, right? But this one nurse kept telling me, Marcelo, it's a completely different thing. It's a completely different machine. You're going to feel different. Right. So when I felt like, okay, I started to feel very, very scared because I was in a very depressed state. I mean, I was in deep depression where suicidal thoughts were constant and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't, it got bad. It's bad when you feel like no one is listening to you. You're going in other places to find feelings, and not just that, I could feel and see death. Like and that's a scary thing to say. And I've encountered death many times. Like there's been many times where I've faced death and I'm just like, is this it? Is this it? So when I felt that like creeping up on me, I just knew I wasn't ready and I needed to do whatever I could to fix that. Right. Yeah. So I just went with the training to do dialysis at home. And, I completed it within about a week or two because I was already sticking myself in center.
Yeah. Some of the things you're saying definitely resonate with me because, I started feeling like I had this institutionalized feeling and I was locked into that schedule. I was on TTS. So I was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And I started getting this mindset of like, okay, the rest of my life, I'm going to be doing this. And now my Saturdays are taken away, my weekend. Cause when I came home, I just crashed. Yeah. That was the effect of in-center home or not in-center home hemo, but in-center hemodialysis. Mm-hmm. The effect for me was I came home, I would eat, and then usually I would lay down for about 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. Even though I still had a wife and children, that my kids were teenagers at that time, and they would always ask, where's Dad? Well, Dad's sleeping. He had dialysis today. So, I would miss out on things. But I had this feeling like, man, I just felt locked in. The walls were closing in on me and COVID had hit for me. And it was almost getting to a point where it was about to hit its peak. It was around February, March of 2020. And they came to me and said, hey, we think you'd be a great candidate. I had learned so much within a short amount of time because my center was so great with answering questions. Man, I was bombing them with questions. I mean, what are you giving me? And what's a dialyzer? And what's this tube do? And and I'm a kind of a nerd, so I would ask them about the programming of the machine and how the hard drive works and all this. What software is it running and all that type of stuff. But you know what? I found out my DaVita was great, man. They answered a lot of questions for me. And it got to a point where I knew my own body. So I would tell them how to run me. I'd say, hey, you better turn me off for a little while because I'm not feeling well. My blood pressure is probably fixing to crash, and things like that. And then, I learned about them adjusting your body temperature, and that would help with your blood pressure. Sometimes bring it back up just a tad. And so I think they picked up on the fact that Jonathan was starting to learn a lot and he was probably learning too much and we probably should get him out of here because he could probably do this on his own.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I came home and talked to my wife. They wouldn't let me do it by myself. They said, you need a caregiver. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I went home, talked to my wife, Melissa, and she was like, you know what? I think I can do it. And, thanks be to God, man, I came home and we made it work. And I can say nothing but positive things about doing home hemodialysis. And I'm sure you could tell me the same thing. Here I am taking over and telling a little bit about my story.
Oh, good. I love it.
But I could tell you my energy went skyrocket. My labs were incredible. And when I say energy, I mean I could go walking for like 3 to 5 miles. I had energy to ride my bike. My own nephrologist said, I wouldn't even know you're a kidney patient if I seen you on the street unless you told me. Because I look so good, so what kind of effects did home hemodialysis have on you and your labs?
I honestly, it helped me in so many ways. In the beginning, it was a little bit of rough. It was a little rough because there were certain things that they didn't tell me about. So I was still like, for the first 2 years, I was like, why am I not feeling good? Why is my potassium still out of control? And this is something that everybody should know. You're supposed to change the sediment filter on the back of the machine. No one ever told me that. I didn't know that, So once we did that, I was like my 3rd year of me doing dialysis at home. I'm going to, I think, about 5 or 6 now, 5, 6 years of me doing it. That's when I started to be like, whoa, okay, this is different. It's different. And then like you did, I'm the same way. I'm a little bit of a nerd myself. I started to play with my machine, because in center, if you try to touch your machine, it gets hectic. The nurses will chew you.
They freak out. They go freak out.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm always touching my machine and fluctuating my blood flow rate and how the fluid that I take off. I have a method that I termed myself called the slow pull method. Mm-hmm. That's tremendous. I've shared this with some people, and they came back and told me that, I feel so good afterwards. I don't feel so drained. The difference between doing in-center dialysis and doing it at home is night and day. Night and day. I will, like I said before in the last podcast I did, I would never go back to in-center. There was
right there with you.
Incident that happened where I had to go to in-center just to make sure that everything was okay with my machine and not my arm.
Sure.
And dude, the way that I felt, oh my goodness, I was like, it felt like it took 3 years off of my life.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. It's night and day. I mean, that sluggish feeling went away. I mean, I would have the incredible sluggish feeling from in-center dialysis. I didn't have that with home hemo. And, and we kind of developed our own routine too. I didn't run the machine on 400. I backed it off because my arm would just start. Usually it was the venous. It would start throwing the machine, throwing code. Yeah. It was running too high, and we would back the speed off. And I noticed that it would just run so smooth on lower speed sometime. And I don't know if that's what you meant by your slower rate or whatever you.
So what I do, to give a quick rundown of anybody that's curious. So this is what I do. When I start my machine, I started at 200 blood flow rate. Okay. Then about 30 minutes into treatment, I raise it to about 350 to about 370, 350, 370. And I run that for a majority of the time, maybe like a good hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours. And I run about 3 hours and 30 minutes, 4 hours around that area, right? Mm-hmm. So for the first 30 minutes, 200 blood flow rate. Then for about an hour and 30 minutes, I'll run at 350, 360. Then when I have about an hour left in my dialysis, I'll slowly start to take down the blood flow rate in increments. Mm-hmm. So every 10, 20 minutes, I'll lower it down from 350 to 320 to 310 to 290, 270. And honestly, every time I do this, I can literally feel my heart 100%. The heart is like boom, 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 boom. It's going with the blood flow rate. It's going fast, and that's one of the reasons why we feel so drained and so out of our minds. Yeah. So when I start to slow it down and I press the machine, I literally feel the heart going boom, boom. It slows down. Mm-hmm. It slows down with the machine, right?
Okay, makes sense.
And that's one thing that I do. And then so when I pull fluid off, when you go to in-center or even at home, let's say you have to pull off 3 kilos, okay? Mm-hmm. Most centers, they just program the machine and then you pull off 3 kilos all at once. Yeah. Now, that's dangerous because that's how your blood pressure drops. That's how you get cramps. And that's one of the main reasons why you feel so drained. One, if you have too much fluid off, and then 2, the machine in your body is working so hard to pull it, right? Mm-hmm. So what I do to combat that is, instead of taking the 3 kilos off all at once, I take it off again in increments, just little baby bites. So I program the machine. I put 0.3. And then when the machine alarms in about 10, 15 minutes, I just add another 0.3. And I keep doing that until I add up to 3 kilos at the end.
There you go.
And I always do that. I always pull off all my fluid. And dude, I don't even feel like I'm a dialysis patient, dude. Like, you know, it's just an inconvenience right now.
So that formula by trial and error, I'm guessing, is where you ended up coming up with that. But that's amazing, and that's incredible. Have you shared the way that you're doing that with your center and talked with them about how you're doing that formula?
I have. I've shared that with my nephrologist. He started laughing. He was like, you learned something on your own, because they do have something like that in center. You know, they can do something like that, and hopefully I'll be able to reach more people. You know, it gets a little bit tricky just because everyone is so different. But like you said, going back to what you said before, when we know and learn our own body and become accountable and responsible for ourselves, then nobody, not even our nephrologist, can tell us anything. Because think about it. If your nephrologist is telling you something, and I've told this to my nephrologist, I'm like, okay, you're telling me to run at 450 for 4 hours. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, but you have to. That's the order. I'm like, look, I respect what you're saying, but I'm telling you it's not working for me. I'm going to figure out what's going to work for me. And I told him, I was like, look, it's because you're not the one sitting in the chair. I've been doing this for 22 years. You don't have a fistula. So how can you tell me what it is that I'm feeling, you know, if you've never experienced it? It's like me trying to tell a woman what it's like to give birth. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like giving someone marriage advice if you've never been married.
Exactly.
All right. You know, things like that. It's hard to give someone advice unless you've really experienced stuff. And real quickly, I want to send a couple of shout outs. This has been incredible. Lots of great information shared. Thanks, Marcelo. Really appreciate you, brother. We got Alex Rosa sending a shout out. So shout out to Alex. Spice it up. You guys go check her out over there on Facebook for a balanced life. Just add spice. And man, she's a really great advocate. I really enjoy her stuff. Yeah. We got Uncle Jim Myers. Uncle Jim Myers, a huge advocate. Jared Brown from the Warriors Quest Show right here on YouTube. Shout out to Jared Brown. Y'all check him out over there.
Bro, you got the squad up in here. I love it.
Yeah, he's commenting. And so he says exactly, this is what many kidney warriors have: cardiovascular problems. Daily dialysis is the way to go. Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize, you know, that your kidney's working 24/7. So when you're going in center for 3 days a week, it's like a 12 to 15% kidney function when your body's normally used to 24/7 kidney. And then you got those days in between when you're not getting treatment, especially like over the weekend. And I know I was guilty of it. I would come in sometime with 4 kilo on a heavy weekend. If maybe I drank too much or took on some extra fluid that was hidden somewhere or whatever. And boy, they would really fuss at me, but my body could handle it because of my size. But, you know, we talked a little bit about each patient is a little bit different. Yeah. Depending upon your BMI and your body frame and things like that. Some people can handle a little bit extra fluid. Some people cannot. I mean, fluid overload. And fluid overload is dangerous because it can ultimately shut down your heart, your lungs, all that stuff. It's incredibly dangerous. But awesome stuff, man. The topic of the show tonight, though, was we want to get into this. Was, you know, how to crush your kidney health goals. And you know, I see Marcelo on the internet. I see him doing like TikToks. I see him doing, you know, Facebook posts. You know, he just looks like he's thriving. He's out there. His body is in incredible shape. You know, he's looked like, you know, he's a pretty muscular, fit guy.
Getting there, yes.
Yeah. And he's out there, he's walking, he's exercising, he's with his dog. You know, he's out there taking dips in I don't know if that's some sort of natural spring that you live by or something like that. And so Celo, give us some tips on how you're thriving, man, because you look incredible.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that so much. I really do, because I've worked hard at this. I've worked hard at learning, about health and wellness, diet, food, and my own body, what all this is. I really did. So to thrive, we have to connect. It's all about connecting back to source, energy, God, whatever you call it, because a lot of us are so disconnected in many different ways, with the diet that we're eating, with the water that we're drinking, with our daily routine, and like all this really does matter, So one thing that I'm always promoting to honestly my students, my clients, everybody that comes across my page is breathing, doing correct breathing exercises and learning the correct technique. Because if you go back to the Hebrew language, the ancient Hebrew language, breath, spirit means breath. So to unlock all the living cells and all of the vascular system, which is so powerful, the power that God already instilled inside of you is by tapping back into your breath. So why breath? I mean, honestly, just think about it. What's the first thing that happens when you're born? When you're born, that's the first thing that happens. Before anything else, you come out the womb and you go, you start crying. You take that deep breath in and then sound comes out, right?
Right.
So it's very, very beneficial. I used to be very, very sick, brother. I used to be very sick. And I got to a point in time where I was just tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, And it's like that saying, what they always say, that a healthy person, my good friend Mark Cornell, he always says this, that healthy people have 1,000 wishes and a sick person only has one. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, yeah, and I know what that is,
Yeah,
and
he's incredible. I had him on the show.
That's my brother,
very,
man.
very, very inspiring. Yeah, he actually said that quote in the show, and I was taken back by that. That was an incredible quote. I don't know if that's original to him. It may be, but it's an incredible quote.
When he said that, it just hit me like right here, because that's exactly how I felt. There was no other wish that I wanted. It was just to be healthy. And dude, that's the amazing thing. Not even the crazy thing. The amazing thing is that that's where I'm at now. Like, I put that intention out into the universe, and I worked hard. I really disciplined myself, because it's about discipline.
Yeah.
You have to put the work in so you can see the rewards. And sometimes it gets a little bit worse before it starts to get better, right? Yeah. So breathing is very important. And there's so many other things that we can do. I could go on forever, dude. There's tons of things.
At least give us at least 3 to 5 before we sign off. So you started with discipline, breathing.
Sure.
Give us a couple more.
I would say discipline, breathing, really paying attention to what it is that you're eating. I always say high frequency food that has living enzymes. So, we can learn more about that. Rest, sleeping, really getting into that REM sleep, that is tremendous. So really letting the body rest and rejuvenating, because that's how the body rebuilds itself, is in sleep. And that's so underrated. Another thing is sun. It's very basic things. The sun, getting the sun, everyone. On your naked body. I am trying to tell you, you got to listen to me. Find a place in your home if you can. Make it as private as you can and go out there naked. And I'm telling you, especially for my men out there, that's one way to really induce natural testosterone. It's super beneficial. Another one that my good friend Mr. Kidney loves is ice baths. Ice baths. Get yourself into some, and I know ice baths is a bit extreme. So what we can do is, when we take a warm shower, always try to, make it a challenge. Yes. Cold showers daily now.
Yeah. So natural vitamin C outside. You can get that naturally outside. Go out there in an undisclosed area, a private area.
Yes.
And without clothing. Or maybe in your undies.
You can do your undies, but if you want to get to that extra little boost, it's It's the way to go.
Full commando.
Commando. And honestly, there are so many more like vitamins and minerals. So I used to take a lot of medications when I was taking a lot of medications because I used to be on like 20 different medicines for antidepressants, 5 different blood pressure medicines, anxiety medicines, pain medicine. And when I switched my whole paradigm, like I had enough, right? I stopped all those medicines. But now that I take all these vitamins and minerals, bro, I take like 50 vitamins now. I take way more vitamins and minerals than than medication in the past. But when I do take this stuff, it's essential. Like it's essential for the body. And I'll leave everyone on this. Vitamins and nootropics. Vitamins and nootropics. So just remember, vitamins are for like the body, right? That's what the body needs. A nootropic, like lion's mane, ashwagandha, maca powder, mucuna, all these are for your brain.
Okay.
For the brain.
Okay.
So if you're feeling foggy or you can't remember or just any kind of brain problem, take some lion's mane. Like really learn about this stuff. It will change your whole life.
I kind of have a feeling a lot of people are going to be visiting Google after this show and kind of looking up some of these terms and things that you're talking about. But you know what? If it's helping you, it could help some other people as well.
As you should. And I will always say this too. You know, this is not medical advice. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
This is what I have tried. I've been my own guinea pig, my own pioneer in my own life, you know. So you have to try what's good for you. But when you try something new, like Jonathan just said, always research it because you might take a medication that could affect it or whatever. Right. And always run it by your dialysis team. Run it by your dietitian, your doctors, just to make sure everything's safe and good. And if they give you the okay, boom. Yeah.
Absolutely. In no way, shape, or form do we give, medical advice. This isn't a prescription. Always follow up with your medical team before you make any changes at all, because each patient is unique and different. And especially with kidney patients, some of us would be on certain medications. Other people would be like, nope, I'm on something completely different for that. Yeah. And so each one's a little bit different. But, we had one other question from Shane Blanchard. Shout out to Shane Blanchard, just a recent kidney transplant warrior.
Congratulations, Shane.
He's an amazing guy. Really appreciate Shane.
He cracks me up, dude.
Yeah, he's a real funny guy. But he was asking, are you, on a serious note for once? He says, is Celo eligible for transplant? And would you be willing to take another transplant?
That's a great question. And my honest answer, and I've said this before, mushrooms, yes, that's what it is. It's mushrooms. The magic kind too, not just playing. So first and foremost, I'm not eligible for another kidney transplant. And the reason why is because when they did a little study where they put my similar to my tissue of a kidney in a petri dish, and then they released the FSGS inside of it, and within seconds it just started to destroy it, and it was causing foam in the urine and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So my doctors, they really said that no, we're not going to do that because it's pretty evident that what happened to the original kidney is going to happen again, right? And I mean, I could get a second opinion and this and that, but the thing is, the more transplants that you get, the more scar tissue you build up and the more antibodies, right? But then the other thing is, and don't get me wrong, to each his own. I know people that are going on 10, 15 years of a transplant and they're doing phenomenal, like they're living the best life. And, like my nephrologist says, transplant is not a cure, it's just a treatment. So I've also met people on the other side of the coin where I've had conversations, very real conversations with them, because this is my life. They said that after the transplant, the immunosuppressant drugs gave them cancer. Mm-hmm. I had other people that they've told me that they're like, it destroyed their ligaments and their bones, and it just really destroyed them over time. And I just don't like the fact that the immunosuppressants, the way that it keeps the kidney like functioning is that first it knocks down the immune system. I don't agree with that. I don't like that because one of the main reasons I got to this point now is because my immune system is really like, it's getting rebuilt. It's becoming optimal, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't want to risk that. You know, I've done so much research and I've done a lot of like digging.
Yeah.
And my route of what I plan to do, because I've already experienced this on a few different scales, I really truly believe with all of my heart that God, he made the body able to combat, and he made it strong enough to do anything and repair itself in any issue, right? You just have to give it the right environment and the right tools. So when I went to Hawaii in 2014, I did an 8-day water fast, and that just showed me the importance of fasting, right? So because I started to urinate a little bit, and it's been years since I've urinated, right?
Wow.
Started to kick, you know, it wasn't much, but there was urine coming out, right? It was nothing.
Yeah.
And then when I got my labs back, it showed me that my creatinine went from 14 to 10. And my BUN went from 50 something to 30 something. So the water fasting and then the juice fasting with these products that I'm always mentioning and talking about, it was improving my kidneys and my health in my body, because I don't know if you know this. This is one of the main things that happens when you fast. After about day 3 or day 4, your body goes into ketosis, right? And what happens after it eats away the fat and everything else, and it also starts to repair scar tissue.
Okay.
Now, going back to what I said before, what is FSGS, the illness that I got diagnosed with? It's scarring of the kidneys.
Right.
My kidneys are not dead, because if they were dead organs, they would have had to remove them the way that they did my mother's kidney. Because after I had my transplant, they left my mother's kidney in there for 7 years, and then it almost killed me because it started to harbor a whole bunch of bacteria and it got very infected. I still have my original kidneys. So that's my goal now, is to go to a retreat, which I already know in California, to do water fasting for a few. I don't know why 40 days and 40 nights keep coming into my brain, man. It's like that Jesus number, right? It really is. But I will do that. Then I will break my fast with the superfoods, the stuff that I have, the power shake that I'm always talking about, you know, because that stuff has changed my life.
Yeah.
So water fast, then the juice fast with these amazing products to cleanse and detoxify my gut even more.
Yeah.
If that doesn't restart the kidneys, which I really feel like it will, it's all good, because everything that I'm doing, the coaching, helping people transform their life, all the money that I'm gaining and from this, I'm putting it into a separate account, because I need to get up to $20,000 to do stem cells. There is a place in the Cayman Islands that I've talked to the doctor, and they have had tremendous stories from all types of ailments and problems, specifically for kidney. And there's a lot of hope there, dude. So that's my mission, man. My mission is fasting, juice fasting, stem cells. And yeah.
You know, as I listen to you speak, and thank you for sharing your and answering that question, because some people probably wouldn't be comfortable, but I appreciate you being open and you know, transparent and sharing your feelings on it, because the way I feel the model is for a lot of people, and when you hear about someone in kidney failure, is, you know, we got to get you on dialysis, and then, you know, the next thing for you is we got to look for you a kidney, which, you know, that's a whole different. I have a whole different show on that, because I believe in preemptive transplant. I think that you should start looking for a donor a lot sooner than even before you get on dialysis. But that's a whole nother show and topic for a whole nother time. But this is the way I feel. I feel like that transplant is not for everyone. And some people are meant to be on dialysis. I know that might sound a little bit strange, but some people are, you know, like you, can thrive on dialysis and be okay on dialysis. And and if you're okay with not wanting another, or you're not eligible, and I understand why, FSGS, but right now, you're surviving on dialysis, and maybe this is the path that God has for you. And then, like, you've been talking about some alternative methods, with the water fasting and whatever else. And you talked about maybe going to a retreat and then eating superfoods and things like this to try to ultimately, I guess, reverse the kidney damage and things like that. But I think ultimately in life is short, and we have to do things that make us happy. And I think that it's important for you as an individual and a patient to ultimately, it's your life, so you need to be happy.
Yeah.
And so if dialysis is the right modality for you, we talked about this. Kidney transplant is not a cure; it's just another form of treatment for kidney failure or kidney disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, if transplant is the right decision for you, then by all means, you go for the transplant.
100%.
In my story, in my case, each one of us is unique and different. I feel like transplant's the best form of treatment for me because it's changed me, it's helped me, it's benefited me. But rolling back the clock a little bit, when I was on home dialysis, I was just like you. I was thriving on dialysis, but I wanted to get a transplant. I really thought that was going to be the best fit for me, and it has been a great fit for me. And I'm actually blessed to have the transplant, but it's not for everyone. And some people have got to get that understanding that there's going to be some patients out there that are not eligible, or it's just not going to work for them. They're going to do better probably on dialysis. And that's just my feeling, man. You tell me what you think about what I've just said.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. If you choose the transplant route, just do your research, and I've seen people thrive off that, and it's amazing. It really is a blessing, but for me, it's like all I hear is transplant. That's all I hear, and it's hard because I'm saying something so new and so different because I've been through all that. I've been through transplant. I've been through dialysis, nocturnal, in center, in hospital. I've been through all that. And don't get me wrong, dude. I might, you might see me happy, and I do feel great. I do feel good, and I am thriving. But dialysis is still dialysis, bro. I do not want to be doing this. But no one's helping me. When I talk to my doctors about this, there is no outreach. There's nobody to talk to in the Western medical system about stem cells.
Right.
There's no one talking about fasting. I'm the only one, but I've experienced it. That's why I'm like, whoa, there's something to this. There's something to this. Because it's like when I peeked through the door and I stepped in a little bit, and I should have stayed in Hawaii longer. They wanted me to, but I was like, I got to get back home. I gotta fix some things. Yeah. But that's I feel like that can help a lot of us. The same way transplant can help a lot of us, because you're right. It's also a mindset. It's a mindset thing. But it's difficult. It's very difficult because there's no help for this. If I wanted a transplant, bro, I got people all over the place. National Kidney Foundation, American Kidney Fund, that can help me with a transplant and tell my story. But I'm talking about stem cells. No one wants to hear this, because it's like we're going against the system. You got to do it on your own. But it's like, okay, let me ask you this. Out of pocket, how much is a kidney transplant?
Yeah. It's very expensive.
Okay, it's very expensive. And then that's a lifelong thing. You're lifelong connected to the doctors, medicine, all this stuff. And there's a chance that later on you're going to have to be on dialysis, right? Or another transplant. With the stem cells, like, let's say the way that I'm saying it, with fasting and juice fasting and all the stuff that I'm talking about, and then stem cells incorporated. Let's say all that really works. Now together, all that, the way that I'm thinking about doing, I think it's going to be around, it's $20,000 for the stem cells, just the stem cell, right? That's not airplane, that's not airfare, that's not hotel, that's not getting to the fasting retreat. That's just the stem cells. So I would say probably like around maybe $30,000, $40,000 max to do all of that. That's still not even half that you would be paying for a kidney transplant if you had to pay out of pocket.
Yeah. Man, that's incredible. And you know what, Marcelo, this has been an excellent show, man. We, believe it or not, man, we have already been on here for an hour.
It's amazing.
And we've been talking for an hour. You know what, man? We're gonna have to bring you back for sure, man. You just got so much inspiration, so much knowledge you're dropping on us, and you know, I'd love to bring you back and we can discuss, you know, a little bit more about some of these topics. And you've been an incredible guest.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing your story and being so transparent, man. Being open and just talking about giving us the real. Right. So really appreciate it, man. And I appreciate everyone that's watched tonight. It's been an incredible show. Hope you guys got a chance to hit that subscribe button and really, really appreciate all the support. You guys are incredible. We can't do this show without support. And I got a little guy here telling you to hit that hitting that share button. And then I got a little guy here that's going to come up and tell, well, he's not a guy, it's just a little motion. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really would appreciate it. It would help us right here on YouTube to continue share these type of stories that we're doing with Hope with Jonathan. And these aren't stories. These are real life experiences. I say we share stories of hope, but I need to change that to real life experiences because that's what we're sharing here. We're sharing real life experiences with battling kidney disease, kidney failure, transplant, dialysis. I mean, the whole nine. But man, you are such an amazing inspiration to a lot of people. And what's Shane saying? He said, last time I hit a button, I cracked my screen. Okay.
Calm down, Shane. Calm down.
Part 2 would be great. So yeah, most definitely gonna have to have him back for sure. Absolutely. But it's been an incredible show, guys. I hope you guys, like I said, have enjoyed this content. And hey, guys, again, we appreciate you tuning in to Hope with Jonathan. And I'm going to give you, Marcelo, a chance to send a shout out to anybody and maybe leave us with a word of hope for maybe someone recently diagnosed or someone that's doing dialysis, maybe a little scared right now, a little apprehensive. So anything you'd like to say before we close out the show?
Yeah, anybody out there, if you are scared or you have any thoughts or concerns or questions, like, I'm an open book. I really am. I've experienced so much in this life and I know what it's for now. Like, it's all for this, because there are so many kids and people coming out that are new to this and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to think. And it's very overwhelming. So definitely reach out. I'm all over the place on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, CeloAffect.com. Just reach out to me and just know that you're so strong. Like you're so special. God has already ordained it and built it inside of you. So it's just a matter of unlocking that power and tapping back into this energy. That's all I did. And I'm just, I'm guiding people and showing them how they can do it in their own way. I would love to give a shout out to all my Facebook groups and check me out on Facebook, Celo3K. So many people out there that I'm collaborating with and I'm working with. I'm just so excited for 2022 and 2023. Check out my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen the podcast that I did with Hope with Jonathan, it was amazing. Check out his story and just, if you want to help, if you want to know how you can help or how you can join the cause, again, reach out because we are doing some amazing things over here and it's all love. It's all love. Tap into the frequency of love, baby. Love y'all so much with all of my heart. I really do.
Awesome, man. That's beautiful, Marcelo. We appreciate you coming on, and you're just an awesome inspiration to the kidney community. And I want to send a shout out to my mom for popping in, Vicky Love. Thank you, Vicky, for I shouldn't call you Vicky. I've never called you Vicky in my life. Moms. I love you, moms. But she bought me these headphones for Christmas, and Mom, I brought them out for this interview, and they're working amazing. So thank you for the special Christmas gift. Really appreciate you. Such a blessing in my life, Mom, and it's a real blessing to have you in my life at 44. A lot of people can't say that. So My mom's a great individual. She's one of the main reasons why I'm a lot of who I am is because of my mom. So shout out to Vicky Love. But I did it again. But hey guys, again, appreciate your support. Thanks for watching Hope with Jonathan. I hope you guys will have a very happy new year. I pray it's a blessed one. Yeah. And remember, guys, to hang on to hope. And you know what? Most of all, stay safe out there. Remember to spread love. It costs nothing to share love and be nice to people, nice to individuals, especially in the world we live in right now. We need as much love and good vibes going around that we can get. And also, who's this chiming in really quickly? Adeline AAA. Well, hey, Adeline AAA. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. And but again, guys, remember to continue to share love with everyone. God bless you guys. And we're going to pop off of here. Thanks again for watching Hope with Jonathan. Take care.
Ciao.
Hey guys, this is Jonathan, the host of the Hope with Jonathan podcast. And hey guys, Hope with Jonathan now has a website, www.hopewithjonathan.com, where you can go over and find out where to follow us on all of our social media links, our podcast, our YouTube channel, and much more. Again, guys, for more information on Hope with Jonathan, you can go to www.hopewithjonathan.com.
Hey guys, have you checked out Kidney Conversations, a new series brought to you by host Hope with Jonathan and KWM's Kidney Warrior merch, Kyle Hawkers from Toronto, Canada. Yes, it's a brand new series brought to you by us for you as the kidney patient. We're trying to inform, educate, and inspire by sharing and spreading awareness for kidney disease, dialysis, kidney failure, transplant, organ donation, and so much more. This is a brand new series, guys, brought to you by Hope with Jonathan and Kidney Warrior merch. What we're going to do is post weekly on our pages across social media. Right now it's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then on Friday, we'll be releasing an informative video over on Hope with Jonathan. Check it out, guys. kidneyconversations.info. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to the Hope with Jonathan podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed that podcast with Marcelo, Peña, and I. What an incredible guy. What an incredible advocate. And I hope you guys have had a chance to check us out over at hopewithjonathan.com. I hope you guys will take the opportunity to go over and check out our library of interviews over on our Hope with Jonathan YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, click that bell. You'll be notified of all of our great content that comes your way. And I really appreciate all the support, all the love. It just means so much. Can't do it without you guys. So God bless you guys. Remember to stay safe out there. Spread love on to everyone. It's free. And take care of your kidneys. God bless. This is Jonathan.